most of you probably know who we're joined here by, but we've got head coach and director of track and field, Vicki Mitchell, national champ, Jonathan Jones, and throwing coach, Jim Garnham. Coach Mitchell, if you could just open with a statement, and then we'll open for questions.
Right. Well, this past week, obviously, we said school and program history with John winning the national title and bringing it home to Buffalo for the first time with any sport here at UB. I think for our program and for our university, this is monumental. Our Division of Athletics has seen some great growth over the last few years, and I think it's just one more step in that direction. So we're very excited, very proud of what John and Coach Garnham have accomplished this year, and looking forward to even more great things.
John, what's next for you?
Head out to USA's back at Oregon, where I competed for NCAA's, hopefully to vie for a spot on the USA team to compete at Worlds.
And when do you leave for that?
We leave next Tuesday. Compete Sunday, I think, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then how many throwers make the U.S. team?
20. Oh, how many make it? 4.
4.
Yeah, I think there's Reese Hoffa is he won the Diamond League last year, so he's got an automatic bid to there. So it's going to be, I'm sure he's going to probably place top 3. So it'll probably be him and the 3 other people.
Right. And then, so that team of U.S. team of 4 competes where at the World Indoors?
World Outdoors at Beijing at the stadium they used for I think the 2008 Olympics.
When is that?
That I want to say it's in August.
It's late August.
Yeah,
yes.
Late August.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, near the end of August.
Right. Okay. So just to go back, just what is the whirlwind like, or what kind of reaction did you get after you won? What was that night and celebration like?
It was unreal. I'm still trying to catch up with people. I still haven't been able. My phone was blown up after. It's an unreal feeling. It really hasn't hit me. You know, that I'm a national champion, and the more I say it, kind of hits home. And to be the first for UB, it's unreal. It's an unreal feeling to kind of kickstart that the legacy to keep going for UB to make it other sports. This year has been a huge year for UB in itself, and just to bring home a national champ it's awesome.
Was this a goal you set for yourself? Was this something that you saw within the realm of your possibility early on?
Yes, I definitely. I was saying this to friends back a couple of years ago that that before I leave UB, I was going to have a national champion title.
It seemed like how did the way the competition unfolded? Did it seem near the end that were you confident you had it? Were you? I mean, because you had like the top 3 of the top 4 throws. I mean, were you holding your breath there until the final throws, or were you feeling pretty comfortable?
I was kind of in the moment at the time, and I knew what I had to do to like be in contention to win it, and that was to go out there and have big throws in the first first 3 throws, and I did what I had to do with my first and second throw. And Darrell Hill came back and he tied me on a throw, but I had a better throw than him with my first throw, I guess. And it was, I just had a blank.
Last couple throws with Darrell Hill. I mean, were you holding?
Oh yeah, I was very confused because I didn't at the moment I didn't know what I was doing because I kept touching the toe board. I never intentionally foul, and he kept yelling at me, and I couldn't really hear him. He was far away.
Screaming at him.
Yeah, and I never intentionally foul. So me doing that, I was in the moment, and I know that there were decent throws when I was doing it, and I kind of wasn't thinking. But towards the end, I kind of knew. Once he hit his throw on the last one, he didn't hit a big enough throw to pass me. It sunk in that I had won it.
Who did you hear? Have you heard from like Reese Hoffa or anybody?
No, but I keep in touch with Jordan Clark. He's one of the top throwers right now. He's placed second at the last 2 of the Diamond League meets. He was a 5-time national champion in the shot put for ASU, and me and him and I actually we stay in touch all the time. Like he texted me before and after the meet and congratulated me, and he was rooting for me. So it's cool staying in touch with the top thrower right now.
What was your thought process leading up to that final throw?
I was honestly, I don't even know if I was really thinking. I was just going at the time, but I was thinking if he passes me, I have to go and hit a bigger throw. And at that time, I was kind of, I wouldn't say I was nervous, because me and him have been competing against each other for the past 3 years now, and we've had rubber matches. He wins a meet and I win a meet, and I've kind of got him in the bigger meets, so I knew I was in his head a little bit going into the last throw where he had to hit a bigger throw. But I was definitely ready to come out and hit a bigger throw if I had to secure that #1 spot.
Coach Garnham, throughout the outdoor season, a lot of John's best throws were on his final throw of finals. It was kind of the opposite. I mean, he had a great throw, the final throw, but he opened really strong. So what was the preparation and mindset change between the prelims and nationals?
Well, the prelims they changed it around this year. There were no final throws, so the prelim was actually your first 3 throws, and the top 12 athletes move on. And so what we did is we'd warm up. I says, okay, 3 hard throws, and then we practice. And so to get them used to going out after it. And then we talked, and I says, you want to be in what I call the hammer. You're going to bring the hammer down on them. And you want to be in that position, so you want to have the last throw. Indoor, he was 3rd going into finals, and he had a big throw, and then the other 2 guys came back on top of it. So you want to be in that position. So you get the adrenaline flow and everything else. So I told him that's what we're going to do. Is you need to get those big throws out early and set the tone. And then they're going to be chasing you. So they're going to be pressing to try and beat you. And when you press, a lot of times it doesn't work. But Darrell's a tough kid. Never know with that guy. He's big, and he's the same size as John, maybe a little bit bigger, but he's 3 inches taller. And he's athletic. And fortunately for John and UB, we come back with the national champ. But it was we take it easy at the end of the season. Everybody starts throwing hard and trying to push it, and my philosophy is back off. You're not going to get any better. You're not going to get any stronger. You want to be rested and ready to go, and we were.
What do you think what does this do for you, John, in whatever way, going forward, going into this next national meet and for the rest of this year and next year?
I think it's definitely been huge that I won nationals. It kind of puts me on the map for that top USA throwers, and USA is really strong. So for me to come out with a national the title, people are looking at me knowing that I have more in the tank, and definitely rolling from winning NCAAs into USAs, I kind of feel confident that I have more in the tank. So kind of just going to stay on the roll. And I think for next year, sponsors may be looking at having someone win the national title. They usually look at people like that for someone that they're gonna sponsor. So I think that's winning national title was definitely huge for the future coming up for myself.
How does that work? I mean, getting sponsors over the winter and next winter and spring leading up to next season, do you need sponsorship to do the kind of traveling you need to do to meets? How does that work?
I'm still really lost to it as well. I've been talking to numerous throwers that compete post collegiate, and they've kind of filled me in on what the process that goes down, and they've kind of all just told me that I just need to finish strong at USA's, and depending on how I do at USA's will kind of set me up for future sponsorships and agents and stuff like that. So it's all going to depend on how I do at USA's, and I don't really know from here to then. I don't know what's going to happen and how I'm going to do, but I feel pretty good about it.
Coach Mitchell, what does this do for the track and field program here at UB?
Well, it puts us more on the map than we already were. And from a standpoint for our current student athletes to say, hey, I can achieve this. John came in and from day one had the work ethic of a champion. And I think that has rubbed off on a lot of the other teammates to say hard work produces results. And the second part that it does, from certainly a recruiting standpoint and a publicity standpoint, brings more attention to our program. And recruiting is never easy, but it's going to be fun as our new recruiting year gets underway in another couple of weeks to say you can come to a school where we have had a national champion. And that's not something that a lot of schools can say. So I think from a standpoint of us continuing to get to a higher level, this is one more step in the staircase getting there.
John, how did you celebrate after the win and that night? And did you have a nice big meal anywhere or anything?
Yeah, we actually, was that the night we went to the Mongolian place to eat?
It was the next night.
Next night. Well, okay, yeah. So I was cramping up pretty bad after the meet, so I kind of just laid low. Where did we went and got Chinese buffet, I think it was, right? I gorged myself at the Chinese buffet, but yeah, I was pretty tired, beat up from the meet, so I kind of just laid low. I met up with a couple of friends, a couple of throwers, and we just hung out and talked and chatted and stuff like that about it, and just had a good time.
And based on your experience at the NCAA meet last year, what did you kind of think you would need to do this year going in? Like, did you kind of have that 68 to 70 foot range in mind, or?
Yes, definitely. I knew that it was going to take upwards. I thought it was going to be a little bit farther that it was going to take, but I knew that whoever hit the big throw at the beginning would set the tone, and it was kind of roll off of that coming into finals. And Coach Garnham and I had talked about it, that we did need to come out and hit a big throw. That if I put myself in the number one spot going into finals, I could, kind of control what happens. So I would be the last thrower of each round. So, if someone hits a big throw and passes me, I'll have a chance to, come back and throw a bigger throw. So we knew what we had to do, and we got it done.
Before the meet, we talked about your knee and how your intention was to give it some time off this summer, depending on the timing of that, right? So how's that going to work? If you qualify for Beijing, the time off is going to come
After.
in September.
Yeah, it's going to come after. It's going to come a little later.
Right, but if you don't qualify for Beijing, the time off is probably going to come in
Right after.
July, August.
Yep.
So what do you think? 2 or 3 months? You're gonna, or how is that going to work?
I think I'm probably gonna get a couple more injections in my knee for PRP injections, and I think they want us like 7 weeks. They wanted me at least to take off.
It's
somewhere
about a
around there.
10-week process, and then and after that 7 weeks, there's obviously rehab and everything else. But it's if you do it correctly, and which the doctors here do well, you should respond very well to it.
Right. So. And is that the right knee?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Both of these actually were stabbed. The right one was the one that was really. That was the one that sometimes felt like a guy hit with a hammer.
Right. So then after when that is done, the intention is you'll be able to work out more completely.
Right.
Lower body and upper body.
Yep.
And be more ready for meets January, February, and going forward.
Exactly. Yeah. Because this past year, I wasn't able to start my season basically until mid to end of indoors. I didn't really start practicing till the end of the winter, and that really hurts because that whole fall semester is when we start practicing and we get ready for the season. So I didn't have that whole time to get good reps in with practicing as well as lifting. I haven't squatted for the past since mid last season. So my leg strength definitely wasn't there where it used to be or where it should be. But as soon as I get healthy and I'm able to get back to the weight room and actually, train completely and get a full half a year of training in, I'm sure it's probably gonna help a lot.
Yeah.
It's gotta.
Right. I mean, and we talked about this before, but I mean, big picture. I mean, to win without having the full lower body training. I
Right.
mean, that's got to be like in terms of your view of your potential.
Right. Yeah, it helps a lot. Definitely knowing that.
Yeah, a normal throwing session is anywhere from 30 to 50 to 60 throws a session, and we do that probably 3 times a week. And then in between, we'll do some drills. His normal throwing session is averaging about 15 throws complete, standing to finishing, coming out of the back. So the timing's not there.
3 days too.
And it's only,
Fine.
yeah, it's only, and we don't do anything in between those days. So it's a matter of just keeping him where he is. The technique at the end of the throw, once he finishes it correctly, his distance is going to be unreal. It's just a matter of time. But everything's, you got to be good, you got to be lucky. So sometimes you make your own luck, though.
Coach Garnham, what differentiates John from other throwers that you've coached before?
It's hard to put, but I mean, he is talented. Rob Golobic was talented. The drive is there. All these kids want to be good. John is basically stronger right now than any of the other throwers we've had. Athletically, they're all about the same. I mean, they're good athletes. You can't be at this level and not be good athletically. You just can't get somebody to run fast if they don't have the ability to run fast. You can't get somebody to jump far if they don't have the ability. But if they have that ability and you train them correctly, they can do amazing things. And he bought into the program. We've got a phenomenal strength and conditioning coach, Nate Harvey. It's a complete picture here. You can't, they say it takes a village to raise a kid. Well, it takes a team here to produce a champion. And I'm talking about team. I'm talking from the administration to the academics to the trainers, and then it comes to finishing on the field. But it's a whole group of people. It's not just me and John or Coach Mitchell. It's there's the support staff here is phenomenal, and that's what it takes. But you still have to have that special athlete, and he is definitely special from that standpoint. I don't know. It's just to compare athletes. He is by far the best athlete I've ever coached. There's no question about it. He's national champion on D1 level. It's a great feeling, though.
Any final questions?
John, can you kind of think back to what the crowd atmosphere was like at the stadium then, and were there a lot of spectators, a lot of noise?
Yeah, it was like every year. It's usually packed when I'm throwing, and this year there was a couple more events going. I feel like they had javelin, they had pole vault, and they had I think long jump as well. And each of the events going on at that time all had really good people competing, and everybody in the stands are trying to watch a little bit of everything and catch everything. So I think it was kind of a little bit more scattered than it usually is, but it was still everybody's loud. You could hear clapping, cheering. It's a wonderful feeling having everybody watch you and cheer for you, and it's awesome.
Great. Thank you, everybody, for coming out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.